This video will describe some of the basic principles of GIS. Now, in this view, ArcMap is populated with various kinds of GIS data, which are visible in the data view. Now, as the cursor moves around, you'll notice in the lower right-hand side that values are changing, but also you see the words decimal degrees. This is representing the location on the planet. Now, even though most people are, most of the public is familiar with latitude, longitude, there are a variety of ways that you can represent location on the planet. And with working with ArcMap, you're going to get used to some rather interesting ways. And so, major quality number one is that GIS data is geographically referenced. Now, does that mean that if you pull something in and it doesn't have, by the way, sorry, geographic reference by that or georeference data, it is data that it has its connection location-wise with the real world. And that is so very, very important when it comes to the operations of a GIS, because it is a serious handicap if it doesn't know where it is, any of the data. So that's a major quality. But another major quality too is here in the table of contents. Here you see the data frame for our layers, and you have cities, river, country, and also you have this raster here for physiographic data. GIS categorizes data in what's referred to as layers. And what layers are is they're a splice of the real world. Like, for instance, here we have the cities. It's as if somebody said, hey, you know something? Why don't you create a map? You know, here's a notepad or a drawing tablet and a pencil or pen. And could you please draw out where all the major cities are? Put points down. Well, that seems okay. By the way, more power to you if you can do that freehand. But as you're doing that, though, you're saying, okay, I think New York is here. I think that London is here. I don't think you're going to add in there your favorite fast food restaurant. The reason being is that it doesn't have reason to be there. You know, it maybe is a joke, but no, just you were asked to create a map depicting cities. Now, that is an example of how layers are a splice of description of something, but something of similar characteristics. Now, the next layer that you see here, rivers, okay, is rather obvious. They're depicting the linear feature rivers across the planet, the waterways. Now, could you mix up cities and rivers together? No, you can't. The reason being is they're two totally different animals. One is linear in nature, but also it's a totally different thing. So that would be another layer. Again, as if somebody said, here is a tablet, here is a pen, and why don't you draw out the major rivers of the world? And you wouldn't put in there, say, for instance, oh, by the way, here are the major highways of the world too. Why? Well, there might be linear features, but they're not rivers. So again, common theme. And the same thing is true here with country. So another quality, okay, by the way, just to summarize on that point, is that the second major quality of a GIS is that a GIS divides common themes of features into that which we call layers. And they can be moved around here in the table of contents, just like a deck of cards, up and down. And by the way, videos like this, hopefully they're useful to you. But please take the time and here's a real scientific term to share with you. I want you to play around with ArcMap. You learn a lot of stuff just by simply going in and exploring this software. So it's a good thing to do. Now, third major quality of a GIS is that features represented are connected with attributes. Now, I'm going to right click on, let's go to the countries. And I'm going to open up what we call the attribute table. And here you see whole lot of information about a lot of different countries. And what kind of information do we have here? Population of the countries, square kilometer of the countries, the currency type, and things like that. And well, by the way, so much more is out there when it comes to attribute data. This is a very general table when it comes to countries. Now, let's see if we can find ourselves a nice country. Bolivia's at the top of this one. I'm just going to click, left click there. And now, here in the view, trying to move around a little. There we go. Bolivia is highlighted. And that means is that this data right here, bring it back in again, is uniquely connected with that polygon, that shape. And so there's this direct connection with all these shapes here with a lot of attribute information. So again, it's not just a pretty little TIFF or something like that, or graphic of file. It actually is a dynamic system where you could actually click on things and get information back.